Zeta is getting stronger, getting better in its appearance, unfortunately, and more organized on the satellite imagery. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith. I'll have a full update.
And with Zeta charging towards the Gulf Coast, Baldwin County not waiting around, getting the warning out, emergency responses ready right now.
And Mobile County also on high alert, even with Zeta's projected landfall off to the west. The FOX10 viewing area from the coast inland, not taking any chances.
First with breaking news and breaking weather on the Gulf Coast. This is Fox 10 News, committed to you.
Hi there, and thank you for joining us on our app and social media platforms. I'm Lenny Slagan.
I'm Byron Day. We're glad you chose Fox 10 News tonight. We're taking another ride on that 2020 hurricane season roller coaster. Tropical storm Zeta now in the Gulf of Mexico after blowing across the Yucatan Peninsula. Yeah,
and Zeta expected to get stronger before making landfall on the Gulf Coast tomorrow. It's the 27th named storm for this year's hurricane season. Our Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith watching the activity.
He's got numbers now and the latest track. Jason?
Let's get right to it with the satellite imagery first. It's certainly better organized on satellite imagery this evening. Could we even be looking at some form of a ragged center or a ragged eye? It does not look like a tropical storm on the satellite imagery. It really looks more like a hurricane. However, as of the 7 o'clock advisory, we actually saw a rise in pressure, which is good, but we may be getting some new information down between now and 10 o'clock that tells a different story. Certainly we see a deep ring of convection around the center, and so that is not a favorable sign. That is a sign that it is getting better organized. The motion's pretty much north-northwest or northwest right now. It's a very brisk northwesterly motion. And taking a look at the statistics on it as of 7 o'clock, we've got it as a 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It's moving northwest at 14. The pressure is 990 millibars. So at this point, it's looking like a tropical storm, but it also has the presentation of a possible developing hurricane, and it could easily be a Category 1 hurricane at landfall, and we'll just keep following this along as we get the updates from the National Hurricane Center. Let's talk about the steering flow on this, and the track brings it into southern Louisiana. I'll spend a little bit more time on this coming up. It's being steered right now by a ridge over the Florida Peninsula, and timing-wise, we expect it to approach the Louisiana coast around 1 o'clock in the evening as an 80-mile-per-hour Category 1 hurricane, according to the National Hurricane Center prediction. Of course, that could be plus or minus some, could be a little stronger, and then it'll move in across southeastern Louisiana, possibly make a second landfall over Mississippi, and it will quickly race across our area. This will drag some of the most intense parts of Zeta through our area tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. By 1 in the morning, it'll be far enough north of us that our severe threat will begin to lessen. We still may be seeing a delayed storm tide coming in around midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning as we get into the southerly flow. But we're definitely going to be looking at impacts through the early morning hours on our Thursday, and things will improve. A fast-moving Zeta is headed our way. More on this coming up.
All right, Jason, thanks very much. And we do have team coverage all over the Gulf Coast tonight. Michael Warwick in Gulf Shores, Morella Porter on Dauphin Island, Shelby Myers here in Mobile, and Tyler Fingert in Biloxi.
Michael, we're starting with you tonight. Baldwin County about to go under a state of emergency yet again. Leaders say that they are not leaving anything to chance when it comes to Zeta.
No, they're not, because there's just no telling what kind of damage this storm could cause, trailing behind Sally on a course up the Gulf by just 42 days. As Hurricane Zeta zips through the Gulf, Baldwin County, still reeling from Hurricane Sally last month, is about to be in another local state of emergency. With debris still scattered along roads, roofs covered with tarps, there's no telling the damage Zeta could cause.
Don't take this storm lightly. Look at what Sally did. So you have to be prepared.
Baldwin EMC telling me there will be power outages across its already Sally weakened system.
After this storm, expect trees to be on your property. Expect trees to be down on the roadways. Expect trees to be in the power lines. So we got to be patient.
Baldwin County schools deciding to cancel school Thursday and are letting out early at 1:30 tomorrow. Down at the beaches, Gulf Shores is calling on visitors to evacuate. The expected damaging winds from Zeta, enough for leaders around Baldwin County to not take any chances. And while most public buildings in the county will close, the courthouses will remain open. That includes absentee voting, which will run uninterrupted. Live in Gulf Shores, Michael Warwick, Fox 10 News.
All right, Michael, on Dauphin Island, Mayor Jeff Collier says their biggest concern with Zeta, saltwater flooding, mainly in trouble spots like the West End, which sees a lot of visitors.
Yeah, and the mayor is not calling for an evacuation of that part of the island, but he does say that it's something visitors should consider. Morella Porter is joining us live.
Morella, what are the people who live there on the island talking about this storm? What are they saying to you?
Hey Byron, to be honest, the people I talked to are really just holding out hope that it won't be that bad. Of course, Hurricane Sally is still fresh on their minds, and compared to that, they expect Zeta to be cake. Popular spots on Dauphin Island boarded up and ready to go. Not taking any chances with Zeta.
Hopefully we'll get through this unscathed.
Residents hoping for the best.
Definitely targeting the Gulf a lot. Storm after storm, trying to be prepared for this.
The Wires family says planning ahead has been key to navigating this wild hurricane season.
When the weather's nice, we've just been making trips back to town to stock up on more water, stock up on more canned goods, more fuel, more gasoline, propane.
Loose ends seemingly all tied up by this afternoon. As the storm approaches, Sharon Helm Wires says their only concern is a leaning pine tree in their backyard that they haven't had the chance to get around to.
Thankfully, when and if it goes, it's going to fall in an area where there's not a house, so it's not a danger to anyone at this point. So we're just going to let it do whatever it's going to do.
Just hours from Zeta's arrival, Island Mayor Jeff Collier asked both residents and visitors to be aware of their surroundings.
Asking people to be cautious about is the fact that we've got a lot of damage from Sally with trees that are either leaning or broken limbs and things, and houses that have not been repaired where you could get some flying debris during the height of the storm.
And because of the dangers of that flying debris and possibly falling trees, the mayor is asking residents and visitors to stay off the roads when Zeta hits. Live on Dauphin Island, Morella Porter, Fox 10 News.
All right, thanks, Morella. And Alabama Power saying it's going to be ready for Zeta. Crews on standby to restore power to communities left in the dark by this storm. That is, once it's safe to do so. Alabama Power also encouraging customers to have their own storm plan and follow the guidance from local emergency management.
Well, as Hurricane Zeta charges forward, Mobile city crews are in a race against time, picking up what Hurricane Sally left behind more than a month ago.
Shelby Meyer speaking with the mayor earlier tonight. She's live now in Mobile, and Shelby, Zeta could put the city back at square one when it comes to cleanup.
Yeah, that's what the mayor tells me, Lenise and Byron. He met with city officials who are working hard to clean up Sally debris, keeping Zeta at the forefront. Mobilians doing the same, making sure their homes are prepared for yet another tropical system.
It's just a little bit of previous storm damage, and we just kind of fixed it back down the way it needed to be done.
Yeah, it's just a corner blew up from Sally that we put down, and then we were just making sure it's super secure.
The Walker brothers in downtown Mobile repairing their Hurricane Sally damaged roof just in time for Zeta to roll through.
Make sure the generator's fueled up, and that's about it.
Yeah, just, it's all pretty much prepared. We're used to it.
Used to it. A sentiment seemed to be shared by all of us this hurricane season, but not a reason to let your guard down.
We went to bed when Sally was coming ashore thinking, it may be a Cat 1. And it'll be in a Cat 2. Much worse damage. The same thing could happen. There's no reason to think it may not.
If you take a drive through many Mobile neighborhoods, Sally debris still lines the sidewalk. Mayor Sandy Stimson says his crews are in a final push to clean it up so Zeta doesn't send it flying. But time is running out.
For the next, I'm going to say 24 hours, I think that we'll be continuing to pick up trash and debris from Sally. And then once we stop picking up that trash, we will resume picking it back up on Thursday in an effort to, again, try to clean up the city, but it's pretty much probably starting back over.
Mobile County will be under tropical storm and storm surge warnings. Emergency crews recommend that you evacuate if you live in storm surge zones, low-lying areas, and flood-prone areas. Here are some shelters that are open as a last resort. Theodore High School and Burns Middle School will also be open as a medical needs shelter. But remember, space is limited because of COVID-19 and masks will be required. Live in Mobile tonight, Shelby Myers, Fox 10 News. Byron.
Thanks, Shelby. Schools across our area closing down ahead of Zeta. Mobile County Public Schools closing for tomorrow. That includes any after-school events. However, Catholic schools will remain open tomorrow, but after-school activities have been canceled. Public schools in Clark and Washington counties will dismiss early tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
The University of Mobile and South Alabama moving classes online starting at noon tomorrow. In-person classes at South resuming on Thursday at 6 o'clock. The University of Mobile will start in-person learning on Monday. Now you can see the full list of changes by going over to fox10tv.com.
The Mississippi coast projected to get more of Zeta than what they got from Sally. In Biloxi, preparations are underway.
That's right, and that's where Tyler Fingert is for you tonight, joining us with our continued team coverage. Hi, Tyler.
Yeah, hey, good evening, Lenise. With this active hurricane season, the concern here in southern Mississippi is that people may not be taking this threat seriously. But tonight here in Biloxi, they're asking everyone to be prepared. Calm served tonight in Biloxi, but that will be changing in just a few hours as Zeta makes a beeline for the northern Gulf Coast. Life's of beach rentals clearing the sand for at least the 4th time this year.
We had a good season, but it's definitely aggravating having to pull all this stuff off and put it back on, and a month later have to take it back off.
The city of Biloxi busy preparing as well. The city's marinas and harbors have been closed. They're also staging equipment in case of flooding. Their message to residents, better safe than sorry.
Make sure that you are prepared. Don't take it lightly, but don't be scared.
Along Biloxi's beach, people taking in the sights before the storm. This area has been in 7 storm projected paths this year.
I know a lot of people probably aren't worried about it because I think they're tired. You know, they're tired of 7 times this year. And it's hard work.
A busy year in the tropics as yet another storm is set to make landfall tomorrow.
You cannot mess with Mother Nature because she's very powerful when she wants to be.
The gaming continues inside the Coast casinos. As of now, the Mississippi Gaming Commission has not ordered them shut. Live in Biloxi tonight, Tyler Fingert, Fox 10 News.
Tyler, thanks. Well, even further to our west, people aren't taking any chances with Zeta either. Folks in New Orleans picking up sandbags to help protect their homes and properties. Orleans Parish issuing a voluntary evacuation order for people who live outside the levee system. The city is very concerned about the possibility of widespread power outages, but the mayor says they're used to it by now.
We've been here before, as I mentioned from the very start of this, over and over again this year. We're no strangers to it. 7 times, of course, in the cone of uncertainty is unprecedented. But again, we stand ready and prepared.
Forecasters expect Zeta to bring sustained winds of up to 50 miles an hour beginning tomorrow afternoon there.
And as Fox 10 News has done throughout the hurricane season, count on us to keep you on top of Zeta as it races towards the Gulf Coast. Catch all of our updates on air, online, social media. Download the free Fox 10 News app. You'll never miss a severe weather alert. And that is all the time that we have for you right now, but we're going to see you again soon.
Yeah, you can catch us tonight right after World Series Game 6. We'll see you then.